What's up, Urban Acolyte Army? My name is Prince and I'm an Urban Acolyte. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about this Boba Fett movie that was announced last week. And I want to tell you what I would do if I were in charge of this project. But before I get to that, I just want to say that if you're new here, I call this geek culture with a purpose. So when I was a kid, I wanted to grow up to be Bruce Leroy and Luke Skywalker. So I talk about Star Wars, superhero movies, and martial arts stuff here on YouTube because I want to show how we all can apply these lessons that our favorite heroes learned to our own training as we look to become the heroes of our own stories. So if that sounds cool to you, click that subscribe button and join the Urban Acolyte Army today. Okay, so last week, The Hollywood Reporter released an article titled Star Wars Boba Fett Movie in the Works with James Mangold. And The Hollywood Reporter is said to be a pretty reputable site as far as conveying information on Star Wars. All right, so Lucasfilm is developing movies on a slew of characters, including Obi-Wan Kenobi. I did a couple of videos on that last week, and I got another one planned on why I do believe that rumor from TMZ just might be true. All right, so they say James Mangold is writing and will direct a Star Wars standalone movie centered on Boba Fett, the feared bounty hunter and fan favorite character, The Hollywood Reporter has exclusively learned. The reveal comes as Disney and Disney-owned Lucasfilm prepare for the release of the latest Star Wars standalone film, Solo: A Star Wars Story. Solo, which opened Friday, is the second movie to be spun from the main Star Wars line. Rogue One: A Star Wars Story was the first, but it is the first to focus on a particular character. Of course, we do know the rumors that Stephen Daldry is attached to or is in negotiations for a possible Obi-Wan Kenobi film, and the rumor is that that film will go into production as soon as Episode 9 wraps up later this year. Now, the rumor also says that Simon Kinberg, the writer-producer behind the X-Men franchise, in films like The Martian, is also working on the Boba Fett movie. There's no official confirmation from Lucasfilm or Disney, but the sources say that Mangold will co-write the script with Kinberg and that Mangold will be the one directing the movie. Now, the article goes on to say that Boba Fett was introduced in Empire Strikes Back and appeared in Return of the Jedi. If you've watched the special editions of the original saga, then we kind of first see Boba Fett. It's been retconned that his first, and I use that with quotes, his first appearance is actually in A New Hope, in a scene where Han is talking with Jabba about how he dropped, I think he dropped a spice that kind of put the price on his head that led him to have a confrontation with Greedo, right? Where Han shot first. If you've seen the Han Solo movie, here's a spoiler, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We kind of see where the origin of Han shooting first began when he had to kill his mentor, Tobias Beckett, right? That's at the end of the Solo movie. Apologies if you haven't seen the movie yet and I just spoiled that, but I did give you guys a spoiler warning, right? But like I said, that was not actually Boba Fett's first appearance. It actually is in the prequels. Boba Fett is tied directly into the Clone Wars. His father, Jango, was the prototype. This provided the specimen for the clone troopers, and Boba Fett was basically an untainted, unaltered clone that Jango raised as his son, right? So the thing, I've seen some people in some Star Wars fan groups where these people actually are fans and they say they aren't that enthused about a Boba Fett movie. And this is something, if you've been here a while, then you've heard me say this on numerous occasions. The Han Solo movie was supposed to have been a Boba Fett movie. Originally, Solo: A Star Wars Story was going to be Boba Fett, you know, bounty hunter, A Star Wars Story, whatever they were going to call it. and there were issues in pre-production, getting the script together, all that behind the. That's why, like, now they don't just, oh yeah, we're working on this. It's like, oh yeah, this is the rumor. It's not confirmed yet, because they kind of learned from the Boba Fett experience. Hey, we're going to do this, and then it all falls apart before it really comes together, right? So this Boba Fett movie was supposed to have been a thing going way back in. How did it finish? It finished with Solo, a Star Wars story, and we see Lando. We get introduced to Kira. We see that Crimson Sun, that Darth Maul continued to work within the underworld, and now there's the questions of, well, how did Darth Maul get separated from Crimson Sun? What happened with that? Where's Kira? Right, and we've got a whole new branch of stories, and that's where I'm going with this Boba Fett movie. My idea, what I would like to see, since they're going to play around with different genres of films, I would love to see a straight up action story with Boba Fett, bounty hunters, the underworld. Han Solo introduced us to the idea that you can have a whole story focused on the underworld, and yeah, the Empire is a presence. The Empire may even be the ones keeping the peace, which means they're kind of the good guys here, which would be a completely different way of looking at Star Wars. So like I was saying, we've got the idea of the underworld. So you have Jabba. Jabba goes to Boba and is like, look, I need you to bring someone in for me, or I'm in competition with the other members of the Hutt cartel. That's what I would do. I would make it about the Hutt cartel. Where I'm going with this is, if you've seen the Raid movies, Raid 1, Raid 2, by Gareth. Is it Gareth Evans? I always get Gareth Evans and Gareth Edwards confused. I think Gareth Evans is the one behind the Raid. And actually the Raid got, like, the crew, those guys, they're in Star Wars. They were Kanji Club, right? The Raid guys. So they're part of Star Wars. I would love it if actually you brought in Kanji Club. Maybe it's like their fathers or grandfathers or something, or other people. But you know, it can't be Tasu Leech, but it'd be the same guys. Would be awesome. Or maybe they're not actually human. They're humanoids that age differently from regular humans. I don't know. But where I'm going with this is, have it like something like one of those Raid movies where it's just straight up action. They're bopping around, you know, jumping from different planets on this mission, and they just got to go in and fight. We got to go into this place, this base, this facility, and fight our way in, get this person out, or, you know, whether make Jabba a good guy too. He's trying to protect some people from other members of the Hutt cartel, and then you've got the Empire because there's something going on with the underworld. So you got to fly under the radar of the Empire, but you've got to extract these people who are under the protection of Jabba. Maybe they've got information on other members of the Hutt cartel, right? So the Hutt cartel doesn't want this information getting out. Jabba wants to get a leg up on the other Hutts. So he's sending in Boba. You got to put a team together of other bounty hunters. You got to get in there, get these guys out, bring them to me, right? Because there's a bounty on their heads, and I want no disintegrations, right? So maybe we can get the origin of no descent, like one of the guys, you know, Boba didn't really know. He doesn't have all the information going out originally, and Jabba's like, yeah, I need you to bring this guy in. He's got the books, you know, he's got the books on. He's a Neomoidian, and he keeps the books on this other Hutt that I'm trying to take down. And I don't know, Boba doesn't know what he's doing. He goes and disintegrates the guy, and it's like, okay, no, we can't have that. Or I got pinned down and I killed the guy to take some heat off my back while I was, you know, taking everybody else out. No, we can't do it. You got to put the team together because you failed this mission. You failed me, Boba. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you get the bounty, but, you know, no one else has him. But I kind of needed access to that information. Put a team together, go out. That way you aren't, you know, you aren't balls to the walls. It's me against the world. Bring these people in alive, preferably. so that I can have a leg up on the other Hutts, you know, and I can be in charge of the Hutt cartel, right? So something like that, I just want to see a straight up action, like hand to hand and blasters blazing and just amazing, you know, amazing fights. Just go all out on the fight choreography. I mean, make this a real action movie. I mean, like from the 80s, where in the 80s, you had these action stars who were actual martial arts people. They weren't actors. You know, you look at a Steven Seagal, Jean-Claude, right, Van Damme movies, right? The acting wasn't really that great. It's like, okay, we got to talk. All right, we talked for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and now it's back to the fight, right? Because that's what you come to see. And as far as like, that's because Boba Fett, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm not that interested in Boba Fett. That's what some of the fans and some of the message boards that I below, they're like, what's so exciting about Boba? Like, really? And then look at how he dies, right? So make this just an action fest, just straight up. You go in there and it's just a straight up, oh man, look at that. Look at that. This is beautiful. You know, give it a real story. Make it something that adds to the lore. You can do all of that. You can do all of that with a great action movie. Like, there's no Jedi, there's no lightsabers. Of course, you can, hey, if they're going against Crimson, maybe it's also the Hutt cartel going against Crimson Sun, and you've got the threat of Maul somewhere, which would really put some butts in seats, right? I bet if people knew that Maul was in Solo, I bet some of these boycott Solo people would have shut up and gone out, you know, if we knew it was going to be some Maul action, some lightsaber action. So you can always tease that too, is, hey man, it's not only the Hutt cartel is involved, but it's also Crimson Sun, and the possibility that Maul is out there and he might appear, right? He might wipe out some members of Boba's team. And I mean, we already know that Maul is connected with these bounty hunters, because that was in that Maul 5-part comic book series where Maul was out to kill that Padawan that got captured. So I don't know, y'all. Though that's my idea. If I had any involvement with a Boba Fett project, that's what I would do. For now, we don't know what they're going to do, where they might go. So we'll just have to wait and see as we get more information. But what are you guys thinking about this? Are you interested in a Boba Fett movie at all? Is it something you'd like to see? And if it is, you know, what would you like to see in a Boba Fett movie? Something like my idea, or do you have something else? And if you really like my idea, go ahead and hop on Twitter or whatever social media and tell Pablo, tell some of the people at the story group, Rain Roberts, Matt Martin, say, hey man, why don't y'all take a listen to what this guy has to say? Because this would be a pretty interesting idea. A pretty cool direction to go. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm politicking right now, but hey, some of y'all say, hey man, you got some great ideas. Lucasfilm Story Group should listen to what you have to say. The only way they're going to know is if the Urban Acolyte Army gets out and makes enough noise. And I'm not saying all this because I'm trying to get rich and nothing. I love Star Wars. Some people say I love Star Wars so much that I'm willing to tell everybody to boycott the movies to save Star Wars. Well, here's where I've been all along. If you really love Star Wars and you don't like the direction, why don't you start putting forward some ideas? So I love Star Wars, and, you know, I'm going to ride it till the wheels fall off, and I'm going to make these videos and I'm going to say, hey, it would be cool if they did this. And if nobody listens, then this just turns into fan fiction on my channel. And hey, Prince thinks this is cool. And then here's the lessons that we can learn from what actually happens. And I'm not going to get upset or be too attached to these ideas, because I'll be honest with you guys, as soon as I stop recording, there's a chance I'm going to forget all of this anyway and go on and live my life. So those are my thoughts, and I'd like to hear yours. So leave them down in the comments below, and I'll be checking back to see what you all have to say. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead, click that subscribe button and take your first steps towards joining the Urban Acolyte Army. Go ahead, embark on the journey of becoming the hero of your own story and become a force for change in your community. Continue to support the channel. You can do that by checking out more videos and staying tuned for the next videos that I get posted. I got to do my full review discussion of Solo, and this week I'm kind of free, so I'm going to get into my Into the Badlands videos and get a bunch of those up this week while I have some free time. But anyway, that's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching. Y'all keep on breathing, and may the force of others be with you always.